Guilty.
You know? But
Guilty. Wrong move. I should have. And so, real quick again, super quick story here. The reason I got into dual sport and adventure bikes so late in my life, I think, I got a once again, don't know what my parents were thinking, but they let me get a brand new Kawasaki Ninja ZX10 2005 when I turned 18. I bought that thing right out of the summer I graduated high school.
I think they
And
wanted rid of you, man.
yeah, it's starting to sound like it, right? So I mean, this bike would do 102 in first gear. I mean, you guys know. I think the 05 ZX10s are like still the fastest to this day, right?
Yep.
So I had some close calls on it. And I think they knew that I was pretty conservative kid, and I wasn't going to do anything stupid. And I spent every waking minute on motorcycles, right? But I didn't enjoy that bike. In fact, the more I rode it, the more I hated it. It was uncomfortable. I would ride from my place in Winfield to Marshall to class. And by the time I get to class, my wrists are hurting. My back was hurting. I didn't feel like I could look around and enjoy the ride. And it gave me a really bad taste for street bikes. And then I smacked a deer at 55 miles an hour. And that was the last straw. I was done after that. And it was 10 years before I got back on the street on a motorcycle again, and things started to click. Like, wait a second, like dual sports, gravel roads, like this is awesome.
Going out exploring. That's kind of my favorite thing about it. It's just as well as I do, there's so much of West Virginia that's unpaved. There's so much that you can just go out, ride for a day, and discover stuff that you didn't even know was there. That's by far and above my favorite aspect of it. But
yeah,
agreed.
We've talked about it a bunch. That I think West Virginia is such a hidden gem on this side of the country, especially when it comes to dual sport and adventure bikes. Man, there's so much cool stuff to ride. And like you were saying, Trevor, with the roads being so unimproved in most places, that's perfect dual sport or adventure bike territory for sure.
I agree.
So when I got my first dual sport, so I was a punk, man, as a kid, obviously. I kind of like scoffed at dual sports, kind of laughed at them.
Same here.
Yeah, like why would you want to ride that goofy looking thing? So when I had my small shop and I was laid off for a couple months, I somehow done some kind of trade, got my hands on a YZ250 or something that I needed to get rid of. And the only way I could get rid of it was this guy kept bugging me to trade a KLR 650, right? It was a Gen 1 99 model. And I said, I finally just kind of threw my hands up and I was like, you know what? You throw $500 on top of it or whatever, and I'll do it. And he brings it up. He came all the way up from Kentucky and brought me this Gen 1. And I hopped on it. I rode around the parking lot and I was like, wait a second. And took it home. Krista hopped on the back. We doubled that thing all around Southern West Virginia that whole summer. And so I just I felt like I was cheating. So I'm on these gravel roads in my house and I'm like, I feel like I'm on a big dirt bike. I feel like I'm doing something illegal.
Yep.
I'm on a dirt bike on the road, on the gravel, and it feels like I'm riding a trail. And I realized that there's all these gravel roads literally a couple miles from my house, and I don't even know where they go. And I've lived in the same house for 33 years. And I don't even know where they go. And I'm like, it was a whole new world to me. And I'm still ate up with it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of dual sport and adventure riding. Exactly what you said. Roads a couple miles from your house, you've got no idea where they go to. That's such a cool thing to be able to get out and experience.
And they're the safest roads. There's no car. Cars are going 20.
Yeah, you don't have some soccer mom in her GMC Denali or something and coming over in your lane. And I'm not much for the road.
Yeah, there's no stoplights, and the rougher the road, the slower the cars are going. When I see a street bike with street tire, I see a bike that can't take one of those roads. It kind of just makes me sad. I'm like, man, you are missing out. Like West Virginia is full of gravel connectors.
I think about that often. You hear these guys, Harley guys especially, talk about like, oh, it's the freedom of the open road. It's like you you haven't experienced freedom until you've had a bike that doesn't even need a road.
Yeah.
You know, you can hop straight off of pavement, and I know there's a spot up in Morgantown. You hop right off of pavement, Star City, right up a hill climb. I mean, immediately. It's
So sick.
really cool
Yeah.
to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, especially if you got a very set up and capable dual sport like
Yep.
your 701 or 350 or something
Yep.
of that sort, where you can literally do any type of motorcycling on that thing if you
Yep.
want.
Yeah, anything. That's what I like about my